Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction and haunted entertainment industry. And we are here for episode number 52. Wow, that means we've been doing this for a whole year.
Yeah.
A whole year of us sitting here jibber-jabbering about haunted attractions.
That's exactly what we do. We jibber-jabber.
Yes, we do. We jibber-jabber and usually drink something.
Well, you know, sometimes.
I wonder how many bottles of rum have been sacrificed to this podcast. Not enough is the honest answer. Not enough is the only accurate answer we can have. But yes, we are back with episode 52. We are still working on the site update. We were going to have it ready for you this week, but the weekend got away from us. Thanksgiving, food, all that good stuff. So yes, it will be coming very, very soon, I promise. Hopefully before the next episode.
Yeah, the live... test site is still out there.
Yeah, it's still out there, still
so if you want to give us feedback before it goes for reals live.
Yes, I'll put a link to it again for those that might not remember.
Or who might be new.
And put it in the show notes, and that way they can give their feedback there.
Yeah.
Like I said, hoping to drastically improve the site and its appearance. But yes, we are back, and it is indeed episode 52. And as a result of it being episode 52, that is a number that is divisible by 4. This math is getting way harder as we go on with it.
Yeah.
Previously, like 16, 24. It was like, these reasons now it's like 52. I'm sitting there doing the numbers with my fingers. Yes, 52 is divisible by 4, so that means it's time to do
the news.
And that's right, it's a news week, folks. Now, first things first, we do have conference reminders for you. But we want to say from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Thank you for sticking with us this year through this crazy experiment.
Yeah.
When we started this a year ago, we had no idea how this would go, if people would even care or listen, or if we would even have an audience at all of any size, of any sort.
Right.
But you know what? We appreciate all the support we've gotten from Jake's Palace, from Haunt Topic Radio, everyone else who's liked, shared us.
And been on, Holly.
Holly and everyone else.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yes.
And it's been an amazing year. Looking forward to another great year, just ramping it up, kicking more butt, and doing haunt stuff all year long.
Right.
It's been fun. But yes, enough of the sappy crap. Let's move on to conference reminders.
Yeah. Then I guess it's my turn to start.
Yes, it is. Get in there.
Fine. January 14th through 17th, it's Halloween and Party Expo right here in New Orleans at the Convention Center. There'll be 350 vendors. It requires business verification, which you can do on HalloweenPartyExpo.com.
Yeah, seriously, it's like a 2-question form. It's not.
Basically, do you have a license?
Do you have a TIN number? And you can come in.
Yes, exactly.
That really is pretty much the extent of verification.
And if you're in town and want to grab a drink or sit down and have a conversation, let us know.
We'll show you where the rum is.
Yeah.
Show the rum is. Let us know. We would love to meet you guys face to face and hang out with some haunters from around the country. And this is a really, really good expo, by the way. I've heard a lot of amazing things about it from those who have gone.
Right.
And then one of the problems we've always had with it is historically it's overlapped with HauntCon.
It has.
This year it does not.
Correct.
As we will discuss in just a moment.
Yes.
But if you're not feeling New Orleans, and how could you not? I take personal offense and affrontage to that. But maybe you want to go somewhere lame, like, Hawaii instead. Well, you could do that. You could go to the Corn Party. It's the 17th through the 20th. That's where operators of corn mazes. You can learn more at themaize, THEMAIZE.com. And I gotta say, the photos on the website for this, jelly does not adequately describe my feelings for this conference.
Yes, I know. We've been hearing about how much you want to go.
Yeah, I really want to go to this one, but I neither have the funds to get Hawaii nor a corn maze.
Right.
So I'm struck out twice.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And then, January 26th through the 30th, it's going to be HauntCon in Nashville, Tennessee at the Sheraton Nashville Airport. tours of Haunted Hell Nashville, Nashville Nightmare, and Slaughterhouse. HauntCon.com for more information on that.
Yes, absolutely. Still running a handful of early bird specials, if I remember correctly, but those will end. Unlike unlike Trans World's Halloween and attractions. I always stutter on that.
Yeah, it's smooth transition.
Yeah, I know. I tried, okay? I tried. I get my participation trophy, okay? It's March 23rd through the 16th, and it is in St. Louis, Missouri at the America Center. Early bird discounts of $50 through pretty much the day of the conference. That's basically
the day before.
Day before. It's basically the not signing up at the door bonus there. They have a whole new section this year about Room Escape. It's called Escape Room City. Should be exciting. They're really pumping that up on the site. And that site, by the way, is haashow.com, or as we like to do it, the hashow.com.
Right. Next page. May 1st through the 5th. We have Room Escape Conference and Tours. You were just mentioning Room Escape.
Yes, I was.
Well, this is a whole conference dedicated to them. It's going to be in Niagara Falls, New York, at the Niagara Falls Conference and Event Center. Tours. 5 Wits Escape Games Canada and Locked Up Escape Games.
Yes.
Conference is the 1 to 3.
The 1st to the 3rd.
1st through the 3rd. Fine.
You know these words. Come on.
Yes. And the tours are the 4th through the 5th, which doesn't have it spelled out.
Yeah, I know. But
and then it's more information at roomescapeshow.com.
Fair warning to any attendees of this. There are events on both sides of the border.
Right.
So you will want your passport or your passport card if you intend to do everything. I guess the fact that it says Escape Games Canada might have been a clue. There's going to be a Canada part to this thing.
Well, we might have some Canadian listeners, and they need to know that they need to be able to come to the U.S.
Well, that's why it's in Niagara Falls, New York, as opposed to Niagara Falls, Ontario. Oh my God, my geography sucks.
Yes.
I have no idea what's on the... Please write me and explain that. My geography's terrible.
I'm sure we can find you a map.
I'm sure we can... we own a map, and if not, we own internets.
Exactly.
But yes, beyond that is West Coast Haunters Convention, May 12th through 14th in Portland, Oregon at the Doubletree Hotel. They'll be touring the Midnight Room Escape, the Labyrinth Room Escape, and Escapism Room Escape, because the Redundancy Department of Redundancy obviously named these room escapes.
Right.
You can learn more at hauntersconvention.com.
And then, June 8th through 11th, it's Midwest Haunters Convention in Columbus, Ohio at the Greatest Columbus Center, touring the Scaratorium and others. Keeping up to date on their website at MidwestHauntersConvention.com.
As you go through the Scaratorium, say hi to Holly for us.
Yeah.
Tell her we miss her. And, oh no, not finally. Holy Christ, I had a lot to this list.
I think you have the wrong person.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, maybe I do. I don't know. It's been a long week.
It has.
If I do, I'll put a correction.
Might be Nina.
Oh, I think it is, yes. You're right. You know what? This is the thing. We talked to so many women in haunting now.
Yes.
I can't keep them straight.
Yes.
I apologize to everyone now. Literally everyone gets an apology from me. You are correct.
That's okay.
Up next, August 4th through 5th, it's Haunt Fair. That's Faire in Ronkonkoma, New York, the Clarion Hotel. They are doing a haunted bus tour on Friday. That is a bus tour of haunted places, not a haunted bus. And you can learn more at haunt-faire.com, hauntfair.com.
Right. And then...
the actual end.
At the end of summer, it's August 25th through the 27th, Halloween and Haunt Fest show. It's in Dallas-Fort Worth at the Mesquite Convention Center. Escape room trip, Jason versus Tater and the Walking Dead zombie.
I swear to God, that's the name. Hand on Bible and heart.
I understand. And you can find out more about, Jason versus Tater and the Walking Dead zombie at Halloween and Haunt.
Please explain how I misunderstood this.
Yes, HalloweenandHaunt.com.
All right. So, yes, it is episode 52. That means it's time to do the news. Now, we did our last news week literally on Halloween. Was when it went live.
Yes.
So, we actually recorded it about 5 days before Halloween. We recorded a little bit before Halloween.
Right.
We didn't do it like the day before, which would have been smart. We kind of had the day off, but we didn't.
I thought we had, but it doesn't matter.
Well, regardless, it doesn't matter because I know I compiled show notes way before that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, this week's news, this episode's news will go a little bit into haunt season through November.
Yeah.
So, we're going back into haunt season, so which I told you we would do last time.
Right.
And we're starting off with kind of a rough story.
No kidding.
All right. Well, this one is by the WECT staff, and it deals with a haunt called the Clarkton Haunted House in Clarkton, North Carolina. Long story short, a teenager who was fleeing the haunt was hit by an SUV in the street. He ran into the road and was struck by an SUV.
Right.
The long and short of it appears to be that this 16-year-old boy was not actually going through the haunt. He was just waiting for friends or something going through. He was at the exit, though. And a chainsaw guy is the exit of a haunt.
Right. Chainsaw guy who was also his friend and also a teenager.
Yes, same age. Saw him, chased him. He ran over 125 yards, which for those that don't metric, that's about a quarter of a mile.
Yeah. The guy did try to stop him before he reached that full potential there.
Yeah, he did try to stop him, but long story short, he ran into the road, was struck by an SUV traveling at high speed. The haunt, like a lot of haunts, and this seems to be something that maybe we should talk about later, but even our haunt, this is true, seemed to be staffed with a lot of first responders.
Right.
I don't know what it is about being a first responder that sort of makes you want to be a haunt actor, but it seems to be a common thing. Luckily, this haunt was staffed with a lot of them.
Right.
So they were on the scene immediately, started providing support, and the haunt itself donated half of their Halloween proceeds to the teenager to help with his recovery.
And the medical costs.
And medical costs and all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is just a rough story.
Yeah, it's a very depressing way to start off the news.
It is, sorry, but it is the biggest one in terms of media coverage. And that's kind of the nature of our industries we'll get into in a little bit, because it's like stuff happens that's kind of, I mean, this isn't mundane, but you know, people getting hit by cars is an unfortunately common occurrence.
Yeah.
But when it happens at a haunted attraction, it's news.
Yeah.
And that's not always fair.
Right. It's not, because, you know, yes, people are scared, and this boy was very scared, and I feel, you know, feels go out for him and his family.
And for the person who chased him.
And for the person who chased him, yes.
Yeah, I mean...
the whole crew over there.
Because no one intended this to happen.
Well, no, and the fact that he did run so far to reach the road shows that it wasn't a construction flaw.
Yeah. That was when I saw the headline, I thought the same thing I'm sure a lot of haunters did, which is, what idiot has their haunt exit onto a major highway? The answer is Freight Trail.
They have cops, and it's very different.
I make a joke, but
yes.
That's the only place I can actually think of that's happened. But that was my first thought. Yeah. But then I read, he ran that distance. Wow. He
was very scared.
He was very, very scared. And so, yeah, I mean, feels to him. And, you know, this is a small town haunt.
Yeah.
It's not one of the big mega haunts with, you know, multi-million-dollar stuff.
Right.
This is a small, close-knit haunt. My heart goes out to both the kid the teen who was hit,
right,
to the haunt family there, for having to endure this. This is rough, and I'm glad that they were able to pull together, because this happened before Halloween.
Right.
And I'm glad that they were able to pull together and finish their show and do some good for him at the same time. I think that was the correct thing to do.
Yeah, and, you know, and it's not just a small haunt when you're talking a small community like that.
Yeah.
It's also the whole town.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, the whole town feels it.
Well said. Yeah, so I'm very glad that they were able to reopen and continue this and do some good with it for him.
Right.
And that's always one of the challenges, is like when something like this happens, what do you do next?
Yeah.
Obviously you tend to him, but what do you do the next night?
Right.
Do you reopen? Do you close? Do you reopen with adjustments? And it's a tough question. I don't have easy answers for that. I think they did the right thing for them and for their situation, and they tried to turn this into, them helping as much as they could.
Right.
So I think that was the correct thing to do. But still, that's a rough story, and it talks about how unpredictable haunting can be.
Yeah.
I've seen some people run.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I still think they ain't found one of the kids from our first year.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure he swam all the way to Chalmette. But I don't think I've seen anyone run quite that far either.
No.
So yeah, I don't see, from what I read, I don't see blame in this. I just see an unfortunate accident.
Yeah.
And that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But still, that doesn't make it easier. Heart goes out to everyone involved, hoping for a speedy recovery for this unnamed teen.
Right.
And hoping that his friend who did the scaring also has a speedy recovery and is able to put this, the mental wounds are just as important as the physical ones in my mind.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So let's move on to another upbeat story.
Yay!
Yay! A Mystery Manor actor, this is from Omaha, Nebraska, was asked not to return following an incident where he is alleged to have smashed a woman's head into a table and pinned her against the wall, but the haunt says that it was not due to this alleged incident.
Right.
He was asked not to return. The actor involved is Benton Donaldson. He was accused of following a group of female patrons through the haunt.
Right.
Stalking them, touching them, rubbing their hair, and at one point isolating one of them.
Yeah, she was the one that was mostly targeted. And from the story, reading the story, I could not tell if this person was someone who showed up and said they were part of the haunt and just joined the group, or if they were actually part of the haunt. But
it seemed like it was part of the haunt.
It seemed like it was part of the haunt because after they left, he did go back in, and the manager did talk to him.
Yeah.
But the initial way it was told, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't very, very clear, but it does seem like he was an actor in this.
Yeah.
According to the victim, these things happened. Other actors were in the room.
Yeah.
They chose not to help.
Right.
And that there were other reports of actors being very aggressive, touching and grabbing in the haunt. However, supposedly, Mystery Manor is not a touch haunt.
Yeah, they're supposed to not touch at all.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a non-touch haunt.
And when the victim asked around, other people said that, oh yeah, they had been touched too.
And here's the thing. I mean, I've had this conversation before elsewhere about the House of Shock locally. It hasn't been as bad in recent years.
No.
But I would say, let's dial the clock back 9 years or 10 years or so. They have big signs, we don't touch us, we don't touch you. That's some official rules they put on the tickets. And yet when I go through, it seems, and it's not even when I'm being recognized, but back then we were beyond nobody. We're nobodies now. We worked our way up to nobodies.
Exactly.
We were below nobodies.
We're barely recognizable now.
We are almost sort of kind of recognizable in certain circles right now.
Yeah.
Maybe. Under the right circumstances and good lighting. But back then, that was not the case. And they were very aggressive. I had that guy in the pig mask put his face right in my sternum and pin me against the wall. Yeah. And it's I'm not responding to that because, A, I'm here admiring the construction of the wall to be able to take that impact. This is the haunter brain kicking in. Yeah. But, yeah, so I get that type of thing happens. Now, House of Shock has been much better in more recent years about actually enforcing its no-touch policy. So, kudos to them for getting on top of that. It looks like Mystery Manor may have a similar issue where some of their actors were going a bit off script.
Right. And it didn't say anything about them having security cameras. Yeah. I would suggest that they get them for the next season. If they do not have them.
Yeah, seriously, if something like this were accused in my haunt, we would just go, okay, well, I got the phone right here. Let's look at the video of your walkthrough.
Yeah, well, and we did have an incident, not any of our actors, but of
it was a patron, a problem patron.
A problem patron, and we were very grateful that we had put in the cameras just in case.
Yeah, and we had absolutely every step that guy took through the haunt pretty much on camera.
Yeah.
As the way it should be. And we caught the alleged, or not alleged, it's on video, activities.
Yes.
That he did. So, yeah, this once again plays to making sure you have proper security camera footage.
Talk to your actors. Make sure that they know the rules, whether you're to touch or not, whether they can scream obscenities or not.
Yeah.
You know.
And I want to get with Japes back on the show sometime soon.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things I want to talk with him about.
Okay.
This actual story. I want to hear Japes' comments on this.
Right.
Because I think he'll have some good stuff to say about this.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, the long and short of it is, as far as, Donaldson goes, is he has been charged with a misdemeanor assault and battery.
Right.
He has pleaded not guilty. There's a trial set for December.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the end of that. We'll know more probably in a future news episode. We'll have something to say about that. Yeah, but the long and short of it is he's pleaded not guilty, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, this seems like it should be like 2 seconds to clear up with proper security camera coverage.
It does. Yeah, the victim, what she's describing is very aggressive and included being followed out to the car.
Yeah.
With some pretty raunchy comments directed at her.
And the pinning of her head, the pinning her against the wall, all this stuff. I mean, okay, sometimes there's some haunts that may be acceptable, like Eastern State Pen does that, if you have the glow necklace, if you could sign the waiver, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but even touch haunts don't typically take it that far.
No, not typically, no. Though we did have that doing air quotes here, full contact one that we discussed last news episode.
Right.
That apparently quite deliberately does.
Yes.
Yeah, and that raises a whole new set of legal and other questions that are too much for this news episode.
Right.
All right, well, and this is the one I wanted to share to talk about how we are unfairly judged as an industry.
Yeah.
I really want, because I read this, and my first thought was, bull story, toss it aside.
Right.
And then delete the tab, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Why did this even come up on my search?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The wheels started turning.
Yeah, so, this next story, right?
Yeah, this next one, yeah. The one we're about to cover is not the previous one, that one needed covering. This next one is the one that doesn't need covering. Okay. But basically this is from the Journal-Times staff. It's from Zion, Illinois, a town I know best as the birthplace of Local H. It's like the only I know about it. But Mark A. Redman was arrested in Zion, Illinois for disorderly conduct. Okay. He left a Halloween party. He was heavily intoxicated and he damaged road signs in a mailbox. And when he tried to run from police, he was arrested. Yeah. Now, this is the most boring, uninteresting Halloween story you'll ever find, correct? Right. But, headline, I'm going to read the headline verbatim. Haunted house employee charged with disorderly conduct. Yes. That's the exact headline, word for word, on the story.
Which is a disservice to the industry because he wasn't at work.
No. He was they had a rap party after Halloween, which a lot of haunts do. He would apparently drink too much, and afterward went and did disorderly stuff and got arrested. Now, if he had done this at like a regular Halloween house party, no headline. Nope. I guarantee you this wouldn't have been in the news.
Yeah. But I don't know. How tiny is Zion?
Okay, you got me there. got me there.
Because I could see, in like rural Louisiana somewhere, house party gets out of hand, mailboxes will never recover. I can see that.
You have been reading the Alexandria Town Talk, have you not? And for the record, has a population of 23,000, roughly.
Okay, so it shouldn't make too much.
It's not like too... anyways. But still, it's only because it was a haunted attraction employee, that it made news of any stripe. Yeah. And now, admittedly, they did not name the haunt in the entire article. I have no idea what haunt he worked at.
Good.
Yeah. But...
That's the only
saving grace.
Yeah.
It's a bullcrap story.
It is.
I admit it, and I feel bad about including it. But this is a podcast about haunted attractions, right? And therefore, I want you to know what we're up against. House party does this, no one cares. Yep. Haunted attraction does it, It's news.
Right. And the reason we have to care about this is because it affects all of the industry whenever we're misrepresented.
It does. And this type of stuff really frustrates me. And I always run into this whenever I do these news episodes. I always find stories like this one that are just bull.
Yeah.
They're unimportant. They're uninteresting. No one cares.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's like, well, then finally with this one, I've thought to myself, well, why do I keep running across them?
Right.
You know, why is this a thing? Yeah. So now we got a chance to talk about it, at least briefly. Maybe this will be something for future episodes. But yeah, seriously, this one really got under my nerves. Because guy gets drunk and knocks over mailbox.
Right.
Is not nearly as interesting as haunted house employee.
Right. Well, and I mean, we actually saw this, and this kind of goes back to the last story too, recently with a headline from Louisiana.
Yeah. Good point.
I'm pulling up the actual headline.
No problem. Yeah, but it involved, I'm trying to remember, it was at a school.
It was a janitor.
Yeah, and it's not officially in the show notes. Well, yeah,
right.
it's worth covering. Because it was a janitor at a school. If I remember what you said, what the article said, and the article said correctly.
Right.
And the long and short of it is, a girl asked to see the haunted houses.
Right. And, okay, so this one doesn't have the headline that I saw first. The first headline I saw was, teenage girl asked to see haunted house and is assaulted.
Yeah.
And that was completely misleading headline, because they and other stories covered it better and titled it, elementary janitor accused of sexual battery of a teenage girl. And then you have to go into the story and read that she was asking to see a haunted house on campus.
Yeah, like some kind of haunted building or something.
Yeah, probably a haunted building. I don't know if it was a haunted attraction that the school was putting on
once again,
not.
The articles are all vague on this.
Yeah.
Probably once again, saving grace time here.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's just it. It's like instantly when a haunted attraction becomes involved, the story becomes more salacious.
Right.
And mundane stories become interesting. And I think the horrible part about that is, like you said, school janitor commits sexual assault.
Yes.
That to me is the real headline there. Yeah. That's the terrifying part. The haunted house need not apply. Yeah,
because the first headline I read didn't say anything about the janitor. It just said that a girl was assaulted in a haunted house.
And see...
And which was completely misleading.
And that speaks to the whole problem, because when, at least for that person, the haunted house was the interesting part and not the fact a school janitor was accused of sexual assault. Yeah. That terrifies me as a member of this industry.
Right.
That someone writing a headline thought that.
Well, of both industries. Because, you kind of work in journalism, so...
Okay, you got me on that one, too. Yeah. So let's switch from that and talk about Bacardi. Yeah. Because I actually really like this one. Bacardi created a haunted attraction in the Brooklyn Naval Yard. I shouldn't say they created, they commissioned it. And the long and short of it is, they did this for a party. Mm-hmm. And some 400 people attended. And by the way, it was a team-up effort with the artist Kenzo Digital. Yeah. I'm not one of the cool kids, so I'm sitting here trying to read the name. Sorry, that's why I'm like delaying there. But anyways, it was a team up with the artist Kenzo Digital to create this haunted attraction that was specifically for about 400 attendees at this party, and included some really, really big name celebrities. Right. Too. So which is one of the things I find really interesting. It sort of focused on elite people. And the aim of it was more to create this music video. Mm-hmm. Or I shouldn't say music video, this YouTube video that they have posted online or are using it to promote the brand. Right. It did feel like an art installation. The video did. Yeah, it did. And I think it was a hybrid between an art installation and a haunted attraction in that regard. Right. Because it had the same thing where you're roaming through it. Right. And you are meant to get scared, you are meant to get startled. But it is, as they said and they described it, they're focusing on creating this immersive experience. Yeah. Rather than just on pure jump scares. Yeah. Which I think is actually a really cool idea, for one. But yeah, so they did this, and by the way, I was reading the names that went through it. Emily Ratajkowski, Alicia Keys, and Boz Luhrmann. I have no idea who the latter one is. I admit I'm old, so please forgive me. Please do not tweet at Haunt Weekly how old I am.
Yeah, totally do that.
Yeah, Crystal's on home tweeting at Haunt Weekly right now. Jonathan's old. But yeah,
well.
but the reason I really liked this story was because it was a very interesting idea for how to fund and build and operate a haunted attraction.
Right.
Because a lot of haunted houses already have sponsors.
Yes, they do.
And so this idea of a purely sponsor-driven haunted attraction is pretty interesting. Now, I don't know if this is something that'll become mainstream or we'll see more use out of.
Yeah.
I think this is going to remain a niche thing, but it's still a very interesting idea if you're looking for a different way to fund your haunt. And by the way, the theme throughout the entire haunt was the Bacardi bat.
Yeah.
To which I say as someone that loves rum.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Bacardi's logo was a bat.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Oh. Okay. I am not someone who loves rum, but I knew that.
I did not realize that.
Granted, I think I was introduced to the bat through Mardi Gras beads on
that's very likely
years ago, but you know.
That's very likely. I was not introduced.
Because they used to blink and flash and stuff.
Well, okay, not taking the joke. All right. We'll just move on from that one. And talk about a Federal Way, Washington. Dear God, learn your state abbreviations, Jonathan. Haunted attraction that is now opening up year-round.
Yes.
Now, this is actually really, really fascinating to me because the haunt itself is actually a traditional haunted house. Mm-hmm. You walk through it. There are jump scares. There are things that pop out at you. And the long and short of it is they're kind of pulling like the McCamey Manor thing, where you've got to know somebody, you got to get on the list, you got to go there and show up and do it. Right. But instead of being subjected to torture porn,
you're just going through an actual haunt. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I think, isn't Raven's Grin?
Yeah,
where our
Raven's
friends...
what is it? Shoot.
Raven's Inn?
Yeah. It's going to hit me.
It's in Illinois.
Yeah.
Our friends...
Raven's Grin Inn, yes. You were right.
Ah, so we were both right.
We were both right.
Raven's Grin Inn in Illinois is also a year-round, and our friends described it as someone's house.
Yeah.
That was set up like a haunted house. So...
No. So, yeah, I'm finding this idea of home haunters doing year-round haunts.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I don't know if we're up for that.
No.
No. Okay.
The reason is...
we need actors.
Exactly. We don't have a lot of, mechanical things in our haunt. We are actor-driven.
And I'd like to remain actor-driven for the foreseeable future. But still, it is very cool to see it taking place. And I gotta say, watching this video from King 5... very cool looking haunt. A lot of neat stuff in there. Really love this guy's work. It's a lot of fun. So, check it out. Definitely, this is one I think you should really click the link we provide in the show notes and watch the video and judge for thyself.
Right. And I do have a question, though. So if they're doing year-round, how are they going to make changes throughout the year?
Very good question. I do not have an answer.
That's the other reason I couldn't do it in this space.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. When you have a small space, you can't just simply route around whatever you're changing.
Right.
You have to close down. Like if we didn't have the 11 months out of the year changes, we'd never change a damn thing.
It would look the same as the first year.
Exactly.
No, it wouldn't. No,
not exactly. But you get the point. The point remains.
Yeah.
It's tough. So that's a good point.
Yep.
But from a home haunt that's opening year-round to one that was closed, a Modesto home haunt called Deathworks, which was going to celebrate its 16th year, was shuttered by the city.
Yeah, that's disheartening.
It really is.
They said that they have worked with the city before.
Yeah, they had like an issue previously where their facade came out too close to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So they moved it back. They did things like that previously with the city without problems. But the city said they received complaints, so they investigated, and they just determined the haunt wasn't safe. But the haunt said that they use fire retardant stuff, and they have fire extinguishers in every room, and then they have photographs that show them with plastic sheeting and plastic netting over people's heads.
Right. So unless you put down the extra money, because there is fire retardant plastic sheeting.
It's expensive as all hell.
Yes, that's why I said the extra money. But I don't... So we did some research into it this past season for our own use.
Yeah.
Which is how we know of its existence. So I'm not going to say that they didn't do that. But it's unlikely. It
is unlikely. And I will agree with them when they say that they did more than most home haunts.
Yeah.
They had exits, they had fire extinguishers, they did all that right. They used no flames inside the haunt.
Right.
And I will also agree that they are probably about as safe as a home haunt ever gets.
Yeah.
So I agree with both of those things completely. And I'm not actually sympathizing with the city here because, I don't know, man. I mean, for something like this, it's not a business and is not posing an imminent hazard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do, especially if it's got a very short run.
Yeah.
You know, at least if they could have let them open for their 16th anniversary.
Or something,
for the night of Halloween. Was it a multiple day run?
I think it was a multiple day run, but it was only for like that last week, is my understanding. It was not like the whole month.
Right.
And I mean, I know haunts in our area, home haunts have gotten in trouble for being open, like, and starting in September and opening every weekend and and really pushing the boundaries of what is a home haunt.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't know. I am really divided on how I feel about this one.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so let's turn our attention to an interesting way to close a haunt season. I really like this idea. This is an article by Bill Blankenship of the Topeka Capital Journal. And it discusses the Helen Hawker Theater in Topeka. They put on a haunted house, as a lot of theater groups are doing these days.
Yep.
And for the final night, rather than doing a flashlight night or a blackout night, this is sometimes called...
See previous episode.
Yeah, see previous episode, blah, 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 go back in the past, blah, blah, blah. They actually turned the lights on.
Right.
And they did what they call Project Terror Directing a Nightmare. And they gave a lights-on tour of the haunt that showed how everything was built, how the scares worked, how the actors were positioned, everything.
Yeah, I would have loved to have gone to this.
And I saw this article and I went, dude!
Why don't more people do this?
This is awesome!
Yeah.
Yeah, and then here's the thing. Here's the great thing about it. The cost to go on that was $15.
Yeah.
Normal admission to the haunt was $5.
Yeah.
So they got 3 times the revenue per head.
Well, and the thing is that the flashlight nights are usually reserved for either people who want a cheap night that's not in September.
Yeah.
Or your die-hard fans who are going to be interested in how you do what you do.
Yeah. This seems like a great way to... And now, here's the thing. And one of the advantages they have is they are a knockdown haunt. So their haunt will be completely different next year.
Right.
And so they can say, yeah, we're not giving anything away for 2017.
Right.
It's all going to be different. It's got to be different. We're knocking it down and rebuilding it.
Yeah.
But still, I think this is a great idea. If you have a knockdown haunt and maybe you don't want to go just the traditional flashlight route, this could be an idea.
It could be.
And I know, like, we see lights on tours of haunted attractions at haunt conventions sometimes.
Right.
Like HauntCon occasionally will do them, I know.
Yeah.
That's great and good, but I think the public's pretty darn curious too.
Yeah. At least there's going to be a small portion of them that are.
Exactly. So maybe this is something to think about. And this isn't actually to preclude you from doing a flashlight night. You can still do your flashlight and blackout nights, and then after that, do the lights on.
Right.
Because you basically got to do the lights on thing, right after you're done with everything. So that way you can't spoil any scares for anyone.
Yep.
But yeah, if you've got a knockdown haunt, this is something to consider.
Definitely.
Well, and our final couple of stories this week turn to the topic of love.
Aww.
And specifically how every time this year, people in our community are getting engaged and or getting married, usually one or the other, but and or getting married, and generally, making their bonds to one another, taking them to the next level of some sort.
Yeah.
However, in one case, in Phoenix, that did not go so good.
No.
A little bit of an epic fail. It's happened at the 13th floor haunted house in Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Long and short of it is there was an actor there who wanted to propose to his girlfriend.
Yes.
As she was going through the haunt. And he hatched an elaborate plan. I think problem one was the plan was a little too elaborate.
It was very elaborate.
Have zombies pull the couple on stage.
Yeah.
And then pop the question. It sounds good.
Yeah.
But apparently this is one of those relationships where he's a haunter and she's not.
Yeah.
So he loves this stuff and she is scared to death. Mind you, great haunt customer.
Yes.
Excellent haunt customer. Maybe not the best target for this proposal.
Right.
Long and short of it is she saw the zombies, got scared, ran, fell off stage, and then kersplatted.
Yeah.
Pretty hardcore. Now, she was not hurt.
Nope.
No injuries. Nobody hurt. Nobody, in hospital or anything like that. So everyone's okay.
Yeah.
But still, this is all on video.
Yes.
You can watch the video at the link we have in the show notes here if you really want to. So yeah, he basically dashed off stage and still had the balls to propose to her as she's on the ground.
And
she said yes.
Yep.
But she said yes and then punctuated it with tearful, sobbing, "You're so mean," which I absolutely love.
Yeah. Well, and they're going to have a story out of this. They already have a story. It's written up for them, and recording and everything.
Yeah, and we're helping in the story.
Yep.
But yeah, so maybe if you're doing a haunt proposal next year, you're targeting one, simplify.
Yeah.
And also make sure that the other person's a haunter and isn't likely to freak out.
Yeah, try to run away.
Yeah, try to run away. Maybe a few things. Now, we actually had a similar proposal that did not involve stage diving.
Well, it wasn't that similar, but it happened in a haunted house.
That happened in a haunted house. Shut up. Mm-hmm.
So one of our friends was working in a haunted house, and her now fiance was going through as a customer and surprised her in the middle of the haunt.
Yes.
So... And there's video of that. We'll see if she'll release it.
And I'll be honest, as I went through this, I found like 3 or 4 similar stories of,
right.
But none involved epic stage dives.
Right.
So they didn't make the cut. Basically, is what happens. So yeah, this is a really, really good way for members of our community to get engaged. Just be mindful and
just do it smart.
Yeah, don't be stupid. That's what it comes down to about this. Be smart. And seriously, though, to all of the happy couples who got engaged, may you have a wonderful and long relationship that does not involve stage diving.
Yes, unless that's your thing.
Unless that's your thing, then I'm not judging. But, seriously, be safe. And speaking of haunted attraction, what comes after an engagement?
A wedding.
Usually a wedding. And yes, 2 clowns from Freak Show Haunted House in Champaign, Illinois got married on Halloween. To which I say as a haunter, are you nuts?
None of your friends are going to be there.
Are you mad?
Yeah, well.
Because that is literally the busiest day.
Yeah.
When do we have time to get married on Halloween, Crystal? We don't.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, no. We're haunters now. We gave up Halloween basically the same way, people give up other stuff for Lent.
Yeah. It's been going on for years.
We sacrificed. We took Halloween to the altar and sacrificed it as no longer for us.
Yeah.
So now we just celebrate Halloween 364, basically. The only day we don't celebrate Halloween is Halloween, conveniently. Mm-hmm. But yes, they got married, and interestingly enough, the guests included Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster from the Munster Show.
Right.
Which is like one of those weird, oh yeah, I guess he, grew up.
Yeah, I guess he didn't stay,
like a kid,
forever.
Yeah, it's a weird moment for me. I really didn't know how to process the information of Eddie Munster as an adult. I feel very bad for him, by the way.
Yeah. But they had a hard time getting to this.
Yes, they did. They really did work at it.
Yeah. Getting to this point, though.
Yeah, the now husband was nearly killed in a car accident 6 years ago.
Right.
And went through a long recovery process, and she stood by him. And it seems like they got a really solid, foundation, and are really good for each other. So I'm very happy about this couple.
Yeah.
Wish them all the happiness and all the hauntiness and spookiness that they may desire. Though I've got to say, I know this is an audio-only podcast, but definitely click this link to and check out the photograph of them walking. It is everything you expect and then some.
Okay.
It's a really great image, and Crystal's pulling it up because I don't think she...
Well, I am. I read the notes on my phone earlier, so some of the links weren't working.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, the photograph with this one is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Do you agree with what I just said?
Yeah. They're not clowns in it.
No, they're not, but they are still
How
dressed...
does she know that that's really him?
I don't know. She could have just totally married some random dude. And there's been like some WWE thing, like Stephanie Mann getting kidnapped and married Triple H or something. My God, I remember too much about wrestling in the late 2000s. Yeah, you just
lost me and probably several other listeners.
Look, if
you might have gained a few more.
If there's wrestling in the late 90s trivia you want to discuss, go ahead. I haven't watched it in 15 years, so...
Right.
I suppose Triple H is still around, right?
No idea. None.
But anyways... So yeah, I always do find this trend of people in our community getting married or engaged at this time of year very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it is such a crazy time of year for us.
Yeah, it is.
But if it makes you happy, and if it's I could see so many of the couples I know getting engaged or married in a haunted attraction.
Yeah.
Just because it really does... speak to something very core about them as a couple.
Right. It does.
Well, that's all the news we have. We have a couple minutes left. Is there anything else you want to talk about or think about or throw out there? Anything you want to revisit real fast?
Oh, there are haunted houses opening for Christmas.
Oh, yes.
And they're starting this coming weekend.
Yes,
the first weekend in December. So be sure to check for ones in your area.
Yes, that is a very, very good point. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'm sitting there thinking I'm forgetting something. Yeah. We'd agreed to mention this.
Yes.
Check your local listings. Is that still a thing?
Yes. Sure.
Check your local listings. See if the haunts near you are doing anything Christmas related. They will probably be opening this coming weekend or the weekend after. These runs are usually limited in terms of dates and times, and often in terms of tickets sold.
Right. And I believe that there's one in Chicago that is having a Cyber Monday sale for their opening weekend. Yes. So be sure to check that out.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because there might be some sales going on.
That is a very interesting thing I have not heard of until 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
The idea of a Black Friday or Cyber Monday sale for a haunted house.
Yeah.
Because usually in this industry, we're done.
Yeah.
Black Friday comes around, we're done.
Yeah.
We're the guys putting on the bloody bear costumes and attacking them.
November 5th. It's... Our listenership has dropped a little bit as people are trying to
forget about
haunting for a little while.
You know what? I'm trying to forget about haunting, but we have a damn podcast we have to do.
Well, we've been doing it in a year, so I guess we'll continue.
I guess so. But yes, I never actually in my life considered the possibility of a Black Friday and or Cyber Monday.
No. And you know what? If traditional haunts offered Black Friday coupons on their site for the next season so that you could get a season pass or something, I would be all over that.
I would totally be all over that. we would probably spend all of our Christmas money.
I would buy in advance. I really would.
I would definitely buy in advance too. I think maybe this is something to explore and consider in a future podcast.
Maybe.
Well, now we pretty much are out of time. You see how perfectly that worked?
Yes.
We're now at about the 50-minute mark from my counter here. So, on that note, everyone, we are Haunt Weekly.
We are.
Find us at Twitter at Haunt Weekly. Find us on Facebook at
Haunt Weekly.
Find us on the web at hauntweekly.com. .com.
We got it.
We got it. All right. But anyways, on that note, everyone, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you again for one awesome, amazing year of podcasting. Thank you for being our listeners. Thank you for being on our podcast. Thank you for sharing, liking, subscribing, and doing all that wonderful stuff that helps us out so, so much and encourages us to keep bringing you the best information we can get our grubby little hands on.
Yeah.
Grubby. Okay. But on
That wasn't grubby.
That wasn't grubby. That was just perfect.
That was another GR.
No. Anyways, on that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this was Haunt Weekly, episode number 52, doing the news and also celebrating to 1 year. Raise a glass. Thank you very much, and we will see you guys next week.